And they're off. Let them go for the 2026 Unibet Champion Hurdle, and Tutti Quanti was slow to get into stride. Work Ahead leads over flight number 1 with Brighter Days Ahead upsides, and Lossiemouth the grey sitting very handy towards the left. The New Lion with the defending champion Golden Ace, the white and mauve. Alexei is in midfield with Poneros in the blue on the inside, and the pair at the back of the field. Amsterdam is held up, and Tutti Quanti, after that slow start, is the back marker on this long run between flights 1 and 2. It is Brighter Days Ahead that strides into the lead from Work Ahead, with Lossiemouth to the outside, just going into second place. Golden Ace in 4th, and then the New Lion and Alexei at number 2. Brighter Days Ahead over in front. Amsterdam made a terrible mistake at the second and lost plenty of ground. Is now disputing last with Tutti Quanti as they go on the turn, about to head away from us, and it's Brighter Days Ahead under Jack Kennedy. She leads the way in the Champion Hurdle to Lossiemouth and Paul Townend in second. Work Ahead is in third, with Golden Ace and Lorcan Williams in 4th. The New Lion and Harry Skelton on her outside. Alexei is tracking with Poneros, and then Tutti Quanti and Amsterdam, after that error, is the back marker as they run towards their third here. Brighter Days Ahead with Lossiemouth in second place, a length down, with Work Ahead in third, and then Golden Ace. The New Lion is in 5th, but only 4 lengths off the lead, with Alexei in 6th, and then Poneros. Tutti Quanti as they get over their third, and Amsterdam is the back marker. On the run to the 4th, Brighter Days Ahead with the advantage, stretched to a length and a half now to Lossiemouth, ridden very handy in second. Golden Ace close up in third. Work Ahead the outside of the inside, and then last year's Turner's winner, the New Lion, on the outside. Alexei is still in 6th as they take number 4. Tutti Quanti just closing up a little bit on Poneros, and Amsterdam is last of all as they turn left-handed and race towards the flight at the top of the hill, beyond halfway in the Unibet Champion Hurdle. Brighter Days Ahead still to Lossiemouth, sitting on her girth in second as they come to flight number 5. Golden Ace disputing third with Work Ahead. The New Line the outside. Alexei gets more competitive between horses there. A line of 4 disputing third. There's a few lengths then to Poneros. They're about to head down the hill with Tutti Quanti struggling, and Amsterdam the back marker. So 3 left to jump, and on the descent now. Brighter Days Ahead with Lossiemouth nearly upsides. Golden Ace, the New Lion out wide. Work Ahead is now squeezed along. Alexei is following the front 4 as they get to the third last. Brighter Days Ahead to Lossiemouth. Golden Ace trying to defend her crown. Alexei, the New Lion the outside. These 5 are clear of Work Ahead, Poneros, Tutti Quanti and Amsterdam as they run to the second last flight here. Lossiemouth now attacks. Lossiemouth the outside of Brighter Days Ahead. These are on a little to Golden Ace. Skelton still waiting on the New Lion as they turn for home. Alexei on the inside into the home straight then. Brighter Days Ahead driven. Lossiemouth has taken the lead here on the run towards the last. Lossiemouth opens up by a couple. Alexei running a big race, then the New Lion and Golden Ace. Lossiemouth at the last over. 3 lengths clear. Alexei an error. It's Lossiemouth from Brighter Days Ahead, then the New Lion and Alexei, but it's Lossiemouth. She's striding towards a 4th festival win, her best win. Lossiemouth has left them trailing, and Lossiemouth is the champion hurdler. Brighter Days Ahead held second, the New Lion in third.
Yes, it's a third champion hurdle success for Rich Ritchie, and we'll get to why Rich is a bit emotional, because he's just been receiving the warmth of the crowd, I think it's fair to say. A third champion hurdle success after Annie Power and Faheen, and now Lossiemouth. With Lossiemouth, was it worth the wait?
Yes, I suppose it was. She's undefeated here. She comes alive at the track. As I said to somebody earlier, about 10 days ago, Paul Townend got off for running a piece of work and said, if I'm going to ride one Cheltenham Festival winner at this week, it's going to be Lossiemouth in the mares. And Willie said, well, hold on, okay, I wanted to hear from you. Let's try cheekpieces in her work. And they put him on. She worked very well. And of course, they did the trick today. But what a great trainer he is, isn't it? It's amazing. But it's a fantastic win.
particular, because you look back on the Irish Champion Hurdle, she just didn't look happy in herself, and you were thinking, oh, is it Leopardstown? What is it? And somehow Willie Mullins has unlocked that ability that we know that she's got.
Yes, I think, yeah, Leopardstown was difficult. I think she looked very light on the day. She hung all the way up the straight. Maybe her back was bothering her. We have to give her a lot of treatment in terms of massages and things and therapy. But golly, it paid off today, and we couldn't be more thrilled.
When you heard, I'm assuming you weren't there for the work. You were told about the work when she went.
Told about the work, yeah.
What went through your mind immediately?
Well, we didn't. You know, Willie and I chat through things. It was Saturday night, actually, after racing at Gorin. Willie said, can we have a chat? We had teed it up sort of on Friday. We had a chat afterwards, and we made our plans for the week. And he said, look, you know, I think these might work. Let's run the mare in the Champion Hurdle. It's not like last year. She's had an uninterrupted preparation. We'll give it a shot, and that's what we agreed, and that was fine. And once he said that and how well she worked, I got a bit jiggy.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you feel excited?
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's been great.
Because this time last year, you know, it had been a tough season for you, and she'd had that fall, and so you wanted to go to the Mare's Hurdle. This time, I think I'm right in saying you pretty much left it up for Willie Mullins to come to you and say, this is what I want to do. Would that be fair?
I think that is fair. I think last year, I think Willie had been trailing that he was going to run in the Champion Hurdle, and I didn't want to do that. And so last year was probably more of me. This year, I really left it up to him, and I was, you know, we did a preview night together. I was quite sanguine about where she would run, and the fact that she ran here didn't bother me. Win, lose, a draw, and it's turned out very well.
And that's when you told everybody about the cheekpieces as well on the Tuesday.
We did as well. Good plug for next year's preview night. But it was great. It was great, yeah.
And obviously you weren't watching the race. Was there any bit of it that you watched, maybe the closing stages?
No, I watched after she jumped to last because Joe turned around and said, would you ever watch this bloody thing? She's going to win by 6 lengths. So anyway, it was great though. It was great. I'm looking forward to watching it now.
And you were just talking here to the crowd, and they gave you a really warm reception when you came in, and you know, in the interview as well, they were very warm towards you, and it clearly means a lot to you. Why is that?
It does. You know, look, I don't want to over-dramatize it, but you know, during this country is I love it. I'm a citizen of this country, but you know, if you're a high-profile person in banking, say, or any other industry, you tend to take a lot of shots. And I never, ever have read what's written about me or what's said about me. I never read it. If you write an article, I won't read it. I don't mind. If I do an interview, I won't read it. And but it was hard on my family because, you know, I remember my son coming one day and saying, "Daddy, you're on the front page of the Evening Standard." I said, "That's not a good thing." But you know, when you get kicked around like that, to have people take you as they find you, even though, you know, they don't know who I am, neither do the papers that write these stories, which I believe in the free press, all that sort of stuff, but to have this sort of outlet where people are take me as you find me, and it's been great, and I've loved it, and it's a big part of my life.
And is that the essence of why you love the sport so much?
No, I got into sport originally because I wanted to win, but it's become a fabric of my life, and I love the people. I love the punters. I love the skullduggery in racing. I think it's great, and it's sort of a reflection of life, and that's why I like it. This is getting very deep.
It is. I'm loving it. Can we end this meeting with you fulfilling your dream of winning the Gold Cup with Gaelic Warrior, do you think?
Dearie me, if I do that, if we did that, crikey, I'm not sure how I'd react. I'd be a basket case, but look, he's got a chance. He's run very well all season. Again, uninterrupted season. Last year he had his issues. We're hopeful. Look, we've got some good runners the rest of the week, but I'd love to win the Gold Cup. Everybody knows that, and it'd be great for us, and we'll do our best.
Well, many congratulations on your 3rd Champion Hurdle with Lossiemouth. I'll make sure I bring the handkerchiefs for Friday.
Thanks, Lydia. You're very good. Thank you. Cheers.
Lossiemouth has just won the Champion Hurdle. It's the race that many people wanted her to run in for many seasons now. She's won at 4 festivals in a row. She's a superb mare. Paul Townend was on board. Well, that seemed to go very smoothly, did it?
You probably couldn't write it to go any better than it did. She was much more like herself today than the last day. I knew very early the last day we weren't in a going day, and I knew today early that we were, whether we were good enough or not. But no, the race didn't go totally as I planned in my head with what was in it at the start, and that got messy, but it probably went better than I'd expected. Just the position I'd in, I had Jack in front of me, and I was just able to do whatever I wanted.
How annoying was the start?
I think it was okay. Look, when you have a tricky one like that stopping, I thought the rest of the horses behaved themselves impeccably well, that we were able to manage it together, and look, it's not hard, it's not easy, and it's so competitive like that, and if there's one standing, yeah.
So in your mind's eye, compare and contrast between what you were expecting the race to pan out like and how it actually did. Explain to me the difference.
Yeah, I thought Harry'd go forward, and Dara would probably go with him, and Jack would be just behind them, and I'd be there. I didn't think I'd be sitting second, but I was happy to be second. I was going to ride her wherever she was comfortable, and as I said, I was going to know early enough, I thought, whether she was on a going day or not, but I was happy enough when I got to the start.
So those early fractions were crucial, weren't they? We saw that in the Christmas hurdle.
I don't know if they're crucial.
Right.
I don't know if they're crucial. I think she's so honest and genuine that just on her back, you know whether it's happening today or not. I don't think it's the makeup of the race.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's whether she's physically or mentally or emotionally or whatever it is got into her head a couple of days. But she was on song today.
And were you riding that piece of work with the cheekpieces when everybody was suddenly smiling?
I was, yeah.
And you know, when was that, and what was it like to describe it?
She just came alive with them. I was on the fence about her in Champion Hurdles, but I thought she needed to find that little bit of spark that we thought she had before. And you know, Willie's trained her differently as well, and no better man. Like whatever I was feeling, you'd believe what he sees for this couple of seconds he sees him going by. He knows a lot more. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know about race horses. So I thought I was happy, and when I seen him smiling, we were happy enough then, yeah.
It's funny how things turn out. We think about last year with State Man, and you know, you could have been here 3 times in a row.
There you are. And I was going that well down to the last hurdle there. I was nearly able to, it crossed my mind. So that shows how well I was going at it. So I was just happy to land running at the back of it, which I didn't earlier on today. And no, she's got us on the board again.
And I know comparisons are odious. You love State Man. He's a fantastic horse. In terms of how she did it today, how would you compare them?
I don't know. Look, I rode them work last year before here, and I had no doubt I was going to ride State Man in the race. Unfortunately, we didn't have that decision to make this year with him being injured, but we had a very able deputy. I was glad it worked out this way, that they didn't clash here last year.
I bet. And if you had to sum her up in a sentence, Lossiemouth, what is she?
She's brilliant. Yeah, she's brilliant.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.